Welcome to KDKP Noire. I'm K Noire, and today we're talking fusion. So, what is that? Fusion is the merging of two cultures, and in this case, we're talking Korean dramas, Japanese dramas, and how these actors come together to do such great dramas, period. So, stay tuned. So, thank you for joining us on KDKP Noire. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. And so we're happy to have you. Thank you again so much. I have so much gratitude for you being here. So let's talk fusion. So let's get started with our first pick. Our first pick is The Last Princess. This is a favorite period piece of mine, and this one stars none other than Son Hee Jin. I love her just because Crash Landing is like one of my favorites. But we love her in this piece because she comes in and does a remarkable transformation of the role of the last princess of Joseon. You see the transformation of how they depict this character from the beginning, like when she was a child and how she was a princess and how she was treated in that Joseon era, and very coveted, very treasured until the invasion or the threat of the invasion of the Japanese troops. Now, if you like, somewhat period but not so period pieces, it really takes you there, and it really tells a beautiful story of the last princess of Joseon and how she actually, she's taken out but gets to come back to Korea by the most unusual circumstances in the end in modern day. So maybe coincidence, maybe not. I chose two, but they have the same actor, Hyun Bin, who just happens to be Son Ye Jin's husband, stars in Harbin, and as well as Made in Korea, which is out now. Harbin came out a few years back, but Made in Korea is, made actually now. But both depict events from the, Korean, the Japanese, takeover and culture, and they do it from the 1900s time period to actual 1970s time period. Harbin is the 1900s depiction of it that you'll see, but in Made in Korea, you will also see those elements for the 1970s time period. So you'll see the fusion of languages, you'll see the fusion of actual cultures, the Japanese takeover. And it's just a good storytelling. It's good depiction, and I like the fusion of both. Now we're going from period pieces to love, and that is where you'll see a lot of fusion dramas come into play. And again, these are my picks. They're not necessarily things that are relevant, not so relevant today, so forth and so on, but they're things that I think you would like and enjoy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about one that I really liked, called What Comes After Love. Now this particular one is a love story, and it stars Lee Se-young, and she is known for Motel California. She's known for the also known for the Law Cafe, Dr. John, The Crowned Clown. She's got numerous projects. So she stars in What Comes After Love, and this is where a Korean student, she goes to Japan to study, but she meets a writer while she's studying there, and it is told over periods of time, but it is a good piece, and I love the way it's told. The next one we're talking about is I Love You. Now, some people say, why not I as in the letter I? This is told differently because it is a Korean male student who goes to Japan to study, and he meets a young lady who has telepathic powers. This particular situation with the Korean guy, though, he's a delivery person because she likes Korean food. So she's always ordering, and he makes these, he delivers to her. And then he starts making these recommendations for her, with little sticky notes and so forth. And when she actually sees him face to face for the first time, she notices that his thoughts are coming in to her mind in Korean. Really strange. Fast forward, they find out that their fathers or mentor and father, I think it's both fathers, are somehow connected based upon a certain incident that occurred that caused her to have these telepathic powers kind of emerge. And it is a great story, and they end up working together, and love blossoms, and the rest of it. But I really love this one. The next one is Gimbap and Ongiri, and I hope I'm saying Ongiri. I hope I'm saying that right. Here, you'll see the merging of the two cultures. This is a Korean girl. She is actually a webtoon writer and so forth, and she actually goes in, has a meal at a Japanese restaurant, and starts falling for an aspiring chef. It's a growing love story, and I really like it. Continuing piece. It has not finished yet for most people, and how it will actually, how it will end. We know it's a love story, but I do think it's worth you taking a look at because I love the fusion of the two. One that kind of caught me off guard. Can this love be translated? Because there are two Korean actors. He's a translator in this particular drama. She's an actress, an up and coming actress, but they meet in a restaurant. Everything's food is a common love language, I believe. They meet in a restaurant, because he could translate what it is that she's trying to say to someone that she met. Based on circumstances with a prior love interest, and they start to communicate. Of course, it seems like it's not going to work out. Then they meet again, and of course, it starts working out. At the end of the day, they really like each other. They really start to kind of bond, form a great friendship as well as relationship. So check that out to see how it ends, but it's currently streaming on Netflix. Now, the final one I want to talk about is one of my absolute favorites, and it's called Pachinko. It's based off of a novel by Min Ji Lee and stars none other than Lee Min Ho, a notable from one of my favorite K-dramas, The Inheritors. It stars a number of notable actors, to be clear. Some Academy Award winners and others, but it focuses on the life of Sun Ja. And Sunja, it follows Sunja from her birth to childhood to adulthood, like in her 80s in Japan. So she's born in Korea, and she spends her childhood there, but gets migrated to Japan up under the Japanese rule that they had over Korea. And it follows her adulthood, her having kids. I mean, just a whole dynamic. And her meeting none other than Lee Min Ho in this epic movie series. It had 2 seasons, and it is just phenomenal. You get to see the aspects of the fusion really, really good from a different perspective, because you get to see the war aspect of it. You get to see the dynamic of how it was to actually, be that immigrant from Korea going into Japan under that ruling. So there's a lot there. And then you get to fast forward, because it does a span of time from like 1910, which is when she was born, to 1989. And it follows her life with children, grandchildren, merging of the two with different fathers. It's just fascinating to actually see how this whole thing plays out, and it is one of my absolute favorites. So we'll see how this all kind of plays out with K-dramas in general. I think we're going to see a lot of things fusing together and merging together. So stay tuned and come back and see us again. Thanks for joining.